Boeing shares set to see $21 billion wipe off their value after stocks plunge 12% and firm postpones launch of new 777X following Ethiopian Airlines disaster that claimed 157 lives. Shares in Boeing are set to see $21 billion wipe off their value after stocks fell 12% following a second deadly crash in 6 months involving one of the firm's new aircrafts. Boeing stocks were down 12% in early trading on Monday to $375.72. A day after a Boeing 737 MAX 8 crashed in Ethiopia and left 157 people dead. The company is on track for one of its worst trading days in nearly 2 decades. The sharp fall in Boeing stock single-handedly caused the Dow to plunge 242.24 points at the opening. Meanwhile, Indonesia and China have grounded all Boeing 737 MAX 8 aircraft, while Ethiopian Airlines and Cayman Airways are doing the same in the wake of Sunday's tragedy. The company announced on Monday it would delay the launch of its new 777X jetliner. "We anticipate heightened volatility in Boeing shares," Morgan Stanley analyst Raji Lalwani said. Though it is early to draw conclusions, there may be concerns of disruption around safety, production, groundings, and/or costs, all of which should be manageable longer term. He said he was not changing the bank's positive overweight recommendation on Boeing shares for its customers, and that any corrective action the company has to take on its best-selling passenger plane will likely prove a longer-term buying opportunity. Wall Street has been overwhelmingly bullish on Boeing. 19 of the 24 brokerages covering the stock rate it buy or higher, while 5 have a hold rating. It is the best performer in the Dow Jones Industrial Average so far this year, up 31% compared with the 9.1% gain in the index. The decline on Monday was a major factor in pulling the index lower. Morgan Stanley analyst Raji Lalwani said there would be concerns of disruption around safety, production, groundings, and costs, but that those should all be manageable longer term. He said he was not changing the bank's positive overweight recommendation on Boeing shares, and that any corrective action the company has to take on its best-selling passenger plane will likely prove a longer-term buying opportunity. Shares of American Airlines Group Incorporated, Southwest Airlines CO and JetBlue Airways Corp also dropped between 1% and 2.5% on the news. The Ethiopian Airlines 737 MAX 8 bound for Nairobi crashed minutes after takeoff on Sunday, killing all on board. It was the second crash of the 737 MAX, the latest version of Boeing's workhorse narrow-body jet that first entered service in 2017. In October, a 737 MAX 8 operated by Indonesian budget carrier Lion Air crashed 13 minutes after takeoff from Jakarta on a domestic flight, killing all 189 passengers and crew on board. Boeing's shares lost 12% in the weeks following the Lion Air crash last year. The Civil Aviation Administration of China, CAC, ordered all Boeing CO 737 MAX aircraft operations to be suspended by 6 p.m. on Monday. Boeing sold 580 737s last year, which accounted for 72% of the company's total deliveries. CAC said in a statement it would notify airlines as to when they could resume flying the jets after contacting Boeing and the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, to ensure flight safety. Given that two accidents both involved newly delivered Boeing 737-8 planes and happened during takeoff phase, they have some degree of similarity, the CAC said, adding that the order was in line with its principle of zero tolerance on safety hazards. The 737 MAX 8 is sometimes referred to as the 737-8. The cause of the Indonesian crash is still being investigated. A preliminary report issued in November, before the cockpit voice recorder was recovered, focused on airline maintenance and training and the response of a Boeing anti-stall system to a recently replaced sensor. It did not give a reason for the crash. Chinese airlines have 96 737 MAX jets in service, the state company regulator said on Weibo. Beijing, a Chinese state-run news outlet that covers finance and economics, said many flights scheduled to use 737 MAX planes would instead use the 737-800 models. A U.S. official told Reuters the United States was unsure of what information China was acting on. The U.S. official, speaking on condition of anonymity due to the sensitivity of the matter, said there were no plans to follow suit given the 737 MAX had a stellar safety record in the United States and there was a lack of information about the cause of the Ethiopian crash. Most of Air China Limited's 737 MAX fleet of 15 jets landed on Sunday evening, with the exception of 2 that landed on Monday morning from international destinations, according to data on Flight Radar 24. It did not list any upcoming scheduled flights for the planes, nor did China Southern Airlines Co., which also has its fleet on the ground. China Eastern Airlines Corp. Limited's 4 737 MAX jets landed on Sunday evening and no further flights were scheduled until Tuesday, Flight Radar 24 data showed. Cameron Airways has grounded both of its new 737 MAX 8 jets until more information was received, the Cayman Islands Airlines said in a statement on its website. Fiji Airways said it had followed a comprehensive induction process for its new Boeing 737 MAX 8 aircraft and it had full confidence in the airworthiness of its fleet. We continue to ensure that our maintenance and training program for pilots and engineers meets the highest safety standards, the airline said. Singapore Airlines Limited, whose regional arm SilkAir operates the 737 MAX, said it was monitoring the situation closely, but its planes continued to operate as scheduled. Indonesia said it would continue to monitor its airlines operating the 737 MAX, which include Lion Air and Garuda Indonesia, but it did not mention any plan to ground the planes. China's major move comes as Boeing delayed plans to reveal its new 777X jetliner, which it has called the largest, most efficient twin-engine jet, according to CNN. The 777X, which can carry up to 425 people, was supposed to make its debut to the world on Wednesday. A spokesman said the reveal was being postponed but did not say if the event had been rescheduled. The spokesman said the company has made no additional changes to the 777X schedule.